All right, Alpha Adeayo, what's good?
I'm popping, man. What's happening?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right, so there've been recent talks about the standard of Nigerian music albums. So I would like to ask, is there a drop in the quality of mainstream albums in Nigerian music?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no way you listen to music from maybe 2020 till now and not find a considerable drop in quality compared to what was obtainable in the past. I mean, right now, what we have are just albums that don't even have long shelf life. You know, you drop an album 1 month, 2 months, people listening to it. Some album don't even make it to the third month. Some don't even make it to the second month. People have moved on, cherry pick a couple of tracks that resonates with them and move on, right? So gone are the days when we had 8 albums, when albums offered awesome experience. When you go out, you buy your album and it gives you an awesome experience, like from top to bottom. You have something to hold on to, something to keep going back to. It's not just about one track, it's about the entire album. We don't really have that anymore right now, right? That experience is lost. They're even consumers right now, if possibly they were not like grown enough to enjoy the music of the 2000s, the early 2010s, the mid 2010s, they might not really understand what it means to have an awesome album. See someone like that was too, maybe someone that was too young, because I think maybe the youngest listener possibly was old enough to experience Wizkid's Superstar in 2011, possibly, right? But let's assume there's a listener who wasn't old enough to experience such an album, right? So you might not really get to experience an awesome album beyond maybe what Burna Boy is doing now, Ashake has done, Omale did, Nonso Amadi and a couple of other artists doing this. But so there's a considerable shift in quality, like huge one, in fact. So and it's just really about how we approach album generally. Like the approach to making music, the approach to making album is dropped. There's no longer artistic intention behind it. Now it's looking like it's more of a contractual obligation. You sign something on paper, and you're obligated to put out an album, and you just put out an album to fulfill that obligation, not because you're willing to actually put in the work to make a good body of work that is intrinsically good and marketable in itself. You understand? So yeah, so I do think there's a considerable drop in the quality of Nigerian albums these days. I think we are almost at risk of losing the art of making good albums.
So what is responsible for the drop of this quality?
Yeah, I mean, a number of factors. A number of factors are responsible for the drop in the quality of Nigerian albums. Let's start with the streaming era. You know, um, what streaming era did was to bring music kind of directly to the people. You don't have to leave the comfort of your home to go buy a CD, right? So you can just like pick up your gadget and go online and you find the music there ready and waiting for you to listen. So that brought about some sort of saturation. It reduced the entry level. Anyone can, just like almost about anybody can make music right now. So we have more, like with streaming era, we have more artists, more people, more musicians than we had before the streaming era. So that means we have more people sounding alike. There's a lot of artists you cannot tell what sets them apart. You cannot differentiate them because their sounds are so similar. So now we have generic music. Music is so generic because there's a lot of artists making similar sounds. Everybody is trying to use a particular style of music to copy its song, to score its record to propel their career. So gone are days where they just like the industry was not saturated. There were artists, but not too many of them because the entry level was too high. It was expensive. It was not easy to market. It was not even like some artists were even limited to particular, locations, like particular demographics, south, east. Some didn't really scale into Lagos, and they were a bit successful in their own region, right? So right now there's saturation, and that's affected the quality of music. And when I say the quality of music is affected by saturation, I do not mean the quality of talent. I'm not saying I'm not saying we don't have talented people making music. No, I'm saying we have talented people making similar music. You understand? So there's really nothing to set them apart. In the early 2000s or the mid 2000s, when you listen to Tubaba, you listen to P Square, you listen to Deband, you listen to Timaya, you listen to Nice, Duncan, Mighty, a lot of like their distinctions. They offer you different experiences, right? But right now, we have pop music that don't really have any like unique signature, that doesn't offer you any unique experience beyond just what is generally obtainable, right? So our music is very generic. due to saturation. And saturation was really it comes with big markets, with more people getting into the business, like when the barrier levels are dropped. So yes, streaming era saturation. We have to talk about hit songs. Like right now, with streaming era, artists no longer need hit albums. Artists no longer need to make actually like quality albums that doesn't rely on one hit song. Back then, you want to sell an album, you're not selling a hit song. You cannot just go and buy a hit song. Possibly, if you score a hit song, you're lucky to score a hit song, then you make a compilation album. All these compilation albums that we used to buy then you listen to different songs there. But if, as an artist, if you want to sell your own music, you want to make money off music, you need to make good albums that people can actually buy. Right now, it's not the case. You understand? Right now, it's not the case. Right now, people make hit song and hoping to use that hit song to scale an album. Right? That's why if you see an album that the quality is not really great, the quality is it's average, but it has one hit song that has garnered 200 million streams on a streaming platform, particular DSP. The conversation of that album changes. They start throwing around fancy words around it. It's a great album. Maybe it's a classic, because there's a semblance of commercial success to it. Right? So artists are no longer making albums that are good in itself and marketable in itself. They're making albums that to maybe maximize their chances of scoring a hit song. So they surround a potential hit songs with fillers to just to just put out an album, right? So it's just really a hit market now. It's a really hit song. It's a hit market now. And although the market is determined by volume as well, if you look at Nigerian music from like maybe since Ashake blew up, because it's one of the blueprint, but I think we have to go as way back as Burna Boy. Look at the volume of music he's put out since 2018 till now. I think maybe like 5 albums or thereabout. Like till now, like a lot of singles and stuff. So there's volume. For you to sustain momentum, you need volume. That's what Ashake did. Volume, like drop singles, drop an album, back-to-back albums, like in like 15 months. She Vibe dropped 4 albums last year. 4 albums, like 2 EPs, 2 albums, right? Dropped an album in 2022. Look like Udumudu Black, the volume of project is put out is blew up. Look at Charlie Pop, he just put out a new album, right? So there's volume, right? But even within that volume, there's just like trying to maximize their potential of scoring a hit song. Just keep throwing things out there to score a hit song. And also there's also the obligatory part of it where you sign something and you need to put out project, right? So I think that impacted the way we make project, because we're not making projects to make good projects, we're making projects to try to score hit songs. And another one, I'll say there's a cash grab. There's a lot of money in the industry right now. A lot of money that people who were there in 2010 downwards, even early, maybe even mid 2010s, didn't make, except for the big artists, for the top guys, right? But right now, a B-list artist, a C-list artist that's able to get maybe 150k monthly listeners on Spotify and has like 3 songs that have surpassed 2 million streams on Spotify, is going to get a decent advance for an EP from a distributor, a decent advance, good money that even a B-list artist in 2010 might not get. So there's a lot of money in the game now. So it's like you could do less for more. So I don't think artists are really motivated to really try hard, because you could just do something average and you could still make a decent sum of it, So I think there's the music business, let me not say the music business. Okay, let me say the art of making music is been overshadowed by the business side of it. So like it's being treated as a cash grab, the way I see it. Like there are artists who are still really particular about the art in itself, about making music that would linger and last for a while, music that will outlive them, But there are a lot of artists too who are just really particular about cashing out. And it's not just it's just not a mindset of the artist alone. Even the labels themselves, they have this mindset as well. They just want to let's just make money off this stuff and let's just move on when it's hot, right? So they treat it as a cash grab. And when you treat something as a cash grab, you sacrifice quality. I mean, there's a point where you do not sacrifice quality. Some of the most iconic albums we've had in the history of Nigerian music, in the history of Nigerian mainstream music from 2000 till now. they have been commercially great. Like the classic P-Square album, the classic Dibanja album, Two Baba album, Timaya, and co. Like even Kelly and some, it's debut album. All this album, like they were really the grain by those albums. They were really commercially successful, but they still have quality in it, right? But we seems we're now sacrificing the quality part of it for the commercial part of it, right? So they're treating it as a cash grab. And lastly, I'll say there's too much artistic freedom. Yeah, I think more than ever, artists have the leeway to do whatever they want to do with minimal input from labels. Labels just go to artists, give them money. If they see an artist popping, like you gathering momentum. You building an audience. You have momentum, and they say, okay, there's a fire burning. They need to just pour petrol on the fire so it go wild. So they just give you money, give us two EPs, and they have almost no artistic input in the creation of that EP. It's up to the artist to go figure it out on his own. Hire A&R if he wants to, if he or she wants to, right? So there's really huge artistic freedom, and the issue is that some artists abuse it. They don't put in the work. They just want to submit a project, right? And the issue is that when they also submit this project, labels don't turn it down. They'll just collect it and go put it up in the hope that they will score 8 songs to recoup their money. So there's a lot of artistic freedom. Labels are not telling artists that, hey, stop there. You cannot do this thing. Go back and record this thing again. Go back and give us better tracks. We're not saying that. I don't think labels are no longer doing that. There's artistic freedom for you to do as you please, do what you want, just submit it, just give us a project within this time frame. So and this is why we have a lot of artists who fit as single artists. Artists who drop a track every 3 months and the track is fire. Like it can go far. It's just like good for a single. It resonates. Like it's kind of like it will pop because it is what is obtainable right now. But when you ask them to make an album, they don't have the work ethic. They don't have the range. They won't put in the work, maybe even the time and effort to actually record music that captures that captures the range and captures the depth of their talent. They just pick songs they recorded. Maybe they're on tour, they're on the road. They just have time to record. They just record casually and they just pick the songs, string them together, and put that as an album, right? So when they put out singles, it's good. You enjoy them. But when you have to now listen to the compilation of those music for duration, for 30 minutes period, you become overwhelmed and be like, okay, what's going on? And you be like, okay, why is this happening? Like, where are the labels? Why are you not guiding these people? Why are you letting them put out this type of mediocre project? You understand? So that's one of the issues with mainstream right now. There's a lot of artistic freedom because artists have money, artists have leverage, they have the audience, they have the platform, and labels are now mostly tapping into it instead of actually creating the platform for the artists, supporting the artists, and helping them scale it like artistically. They are just treating these artists as business partners that we can make money together. So that like if you ask me, those are the problems, and that's how we have found ourselves in this situation. But I think back in the past, I don't think you could just. I think although I wouldn't say I'm privy to how music was made then, but I think there was a lot more input from the part of the label. So there's a lot more input from the part of the label. The label wanted, like, even in the case of the Moids, when I hear Don Jazzy talk and from people I know that describe how things used to go then, there's a lot of elaborate input, elaborate process in creating this music. You sit down, you listen, people give their opinion at the time, what is good, what we need to touch in this one, what we need to touch in that one. Right now, it's just some kid just in the studio smoking weed and drinking vodka and his guys are telling him, Adeayo, and he goes on Snapchat and just does whatever the hell he wants to do and submits to a label, and label will just accept it for what it is. So this is how we find ourselves in this situation.
All right. So talking about mainstream artists, so why are less mainstream artists making better albums?
Yeah, I mean, non-mainstream artists, you have to make better albums because number one, you are not mainstream, so your album has to be good because you don't make mainstream music. That means your music is not generic. I think the number one problem with mainstream artists is that their music is very generic. Now, you guys are almost making the same thing. Only few of you have things that are different. Maybe your vocal texture, your approach to music are different. But for what it is worth, all of you are going to use piano log drums, like mix them with Afrobeat and give us similar thematic preoccupations, motif, and talking points, right? So it's not really particularly different. What is going to make it different is your approach to it, how you elevate the ordinary into becoming extraordinary, right? So that's the issue with mainstream. Non-mainstream artists don't have this issue because number one, you don't make mainstream music, right? So this allows you to explore more artistic depths. That's why some of the best music, some of the best projects I've had recently are non-mainstream. And even the ones that are mainstream were not really successful commercially. Like last year, Techno's album last year, fantastic album, really good. You possibly don't you see, you don't even know he dropped an album last year. You should listen to it. Really good album. I think the more the better or something like that. Really good album. But so it's so as a non-mainstream artist, you don't get to make generic music. So that kind of like gives you an edge. It gives you an edge. And also, non-mainstream artists I don't know, maybe because they are not as famous. I think fame does something to you. Fame make people lazy. I'm not famous and I'm not an artist, so I cannot speak definitively of what it feels like for them. I'm not in their shoes. So I cannot say categorically that this is it. But I'm just going to take a stab at it and I'm going to tell you that I think when people get famous, they get complacent. Ego sets in, and some of them just want to make the same thing that brought them fame. And that's what we've been seeing in a while now. People just regurgitate like the template and the elements of from their first hit single. It's like Young John scoring an amapiano hit and decided that, okay, henceforth, that is the only thing I'm going to be doing. And he makes his 16-track albums and litters it with 10 amapiano tracks that, like, you cannot tell the quality of one apart from the other. They sound alike, they are alike, and one is not different from the other. Why Ashake is special? Why I think it's special is because while his music carries similar sonics, right? Similar, like there's an underlining sonic to his music, he knows how to apply himself. He knows how to make one track better than the next track. Like when you listen to Great Guy and listen to Remember, it leaves you at odds at which one is better. When you listen to What's Up My G and listen to I Believe, you begin to argue like, okay, I think this is better, I think that is better. A lot of artists don't know how to apply themselves and elevate a record. They just do the same thing, apply same melody, repeat the same talking point, like similar production. You understand? So they're just like, it's just a collection of singles littering in an average, like just like hanging on an average line. Like one is not better than the other. It's just like a mid off, so to say. So this is not like non-mainstream artists. The fact that it's not generic, they kind of like escape this issue. And non-mainstream artists, they don't really, you have your community, so you might not really get a lot of streams, or some do get significant streams from different parts of the world, but you really want to amplify offline. So you want to be able to build a community that would enjoy your music offline, and you need to make it quality. You need to make music that will move people beyond just momentarily, supplying them that buzz. You want to actually keep people loyal to you, not people that are just like listening to your music because you are popping right now. So that means you have to make good music, good project, right? So I think that's the kind of the difference. There's the fame part of it. There's the fact that they don't make generic music, and the fact that they also, I think, they know how to push themselves. They know how to apply themselves. This year we've seen Timi Dakolo. I don't know if we call Timi Dakolo mainstream. I wouldn't particularly call him mainstream, although his name is popular. He's had mainstream hits, but he's not necessarily a mainstream artist, right? His album is really good. From December last year, we had Flavor, who is, for all intent and purposes, a mainstream artist, but at the same time, you can also call him kind of like a non-mainstream artist, a very offline artist. It's not the most digital artist, right? Fantastic album. This year we've had Iblesi Sidakai rap album, like splendid album, right? So because I think they're really deliberate about it, the way they go about it, and maybe because they're from the older generation. I don't say this is an indictment on the younger generation, but I think the younger generation, they're lazy. I'm sorry, like. I know I'm one of that generation, but I think they're really lazy when it comes to making albums. They don't really put in the work. They don't really apply themselves the way the older generation does in making a body of work. So it's a matter of approach, and it's a matter of artistic intention and the artistic dedication that goes into making the body of work.
Right. So, what are the solutions for this challenge?
Number one, I think labels need to get serious. Yeah, seriously. They need to call themselves together and say, we need to get fucking serious. Because, like, what the hell is going on? I think they still have leverage. Because at the end of the day, you guys are the one that put the money down. You are the one that put the money down. Okay, fine. This person, they have an audience, but they are open to leverage that audience to make money. And you are the one coming with the money. So you also have some leverage. So why not use that to even have some creative input? Why are they making it look like, oh, that they are doing something special by leaving artists to just to their own devices? I think labels feel like they become better position to get artists if they leave the artists to do whatever they want to do. That's why it works now. So we don't even really have label anymore. We have business partners. Yes. Nigerian music, we don't really have labels anymore. We have a handful of labels. Right? We have Mavens. We have Choke City. Then we have a handful of business partners. Because when you don't have creative input, into what your artist is making, then I don't know. I'm reluctant to call you a label. Because what you do, you just manage the business part of it. So we need to tell them to get fucking serious. I have people who are going to have creative input. I have people who care about the music part more than maybe not more than the business part, but as much as the business part. Like, balance the two. Don't just accept, don't give someone an advance and the person go record the music and comes to submit to you a significantly subpar project, and you just accept it for what it is because okay, it's popping, I'm going to make music of it. You're doing damage to the ecosystem. Right? So I think labels need to get serious. I think labels need to start turning down music and say we won't accept this tip. Go put it back. Go work on it. If you've seen Genius on Netflix, Kanye's documentary, when he was trying to get signed, when he was trying to let them put out his project, his first project, you know how good that project was, but he still had to struggle to get their attention. You understand? So that's when you know okay, there's someone really, really tapping into the creative side and not just trying to use you as a cash cow. Right? So we are having more business partners and less labels. Right? We're leaving artists to their own devices. And for you to make music, you need both people who do not necessarily make music and people who make music. You need a fantastic producer. You need an artist with potential, an artist with talent. Then you need people who appreciate the act of making music. People who are so almost borderline obsessed with the theoretical part of it. Like, listen to Rick Rubin talk. This man doesn't have any technical ability in making music. But when he talks about music, when he tells you do this, do that, you understand that, okay, he knows what he's doing. Understand, right? So right now we do not have labels that are quite dedicated in actually developing artists. They just see you're popping, your song is trending on TikTok. Okay, let's just throw a couple of bucks at you. Let's throw a couple of $1,000s at you and just give us an EP in return. That's what we have, business partners. So yeah, labels need to get serious. I'm fucking pissed, man. Yeah, so I think artists themselves need to actually not balance each songs with creating quality projects. Because right now, what we have is artists chasing each songs at the detriment of creating quality projects. Right? So they just string together a number of songs and in the bid to maximize their chances of getting a hit song. Look at Charlie Poppy's recent project. We could say, okay, that is his vibe. That is his vibe is on. But that is, come on, man. Like, we know that you're just taking a stab at it. That worst case, I'm getting 4 hit songs of this. And no matter how much I dump it down, no matter how much I make it ridiculous, no matter how I'm a straight up artist, you're a straight up artist, I cannot rap. There's nothing I do that can pass as actually rapping. And there's nothing I do that can pass actually singing. I'll just do whatever I want to do and put it out there and pack it in a very catchy production and put it out there and people will vibe to it. And 6 months time, when people are tired of this one, you come back with a new one and you put it at least for as long as your time in the mainstream would last. Right? So it's about people chasing each song right now. They're not really interested in making quality projects. I'm sorry. And I think maybe I get that they'll be enter studio now. Go sing now. Maybe you sabi talk, go sing now, Mokusi. I'm sorry. That's not my job. It's your job. It's you're the one that chose to sing. I mean, you might as well just be good at it. Man, does it just be good at it? I mean, I listened to Young Joe's project. I think he's talented. I think he's a hit maker. I think he's one of the most flashy hit makers we have right now. But it's not a good project. It's not. Because what it does is just maximize his chances of getting a hit song. He's not really making songs that are individually good, that are individually that are strong individually on their own merit. Like when they come together, he's not making projects that when they come together that they give you an experience. Like the songs are similar. I think I counted like 10 Amapiano songs on that project, and there's not one song that is quite maybe heads and shoulders above the rest. You know, the songs do not even compete at a quality level that okay, this over this over that. It's just like this sounds like this sounds like this sounds like this. At the end of the day, I'll just say okay, I like Sharply, I like Stronger because those were his best performance. But the rest they're just in a limbo. So you can get a hit song, but it shouldn't come at the detriment of making a quality album. I think even right now, it should be easier for you to make a quality album. Because you just need one hit song to propel your career. You don't need an album to sustain your career. You need hit songs. And this height has been from like since like 2010s, since Wiz, David. How many albums did David drop between 2010 to 2019? He dropped 2. Then he dropped 1920. He dropped 1 album between 2011. 12, his debut, 2012, 2019. He dropped 1 album, 1. Then he dropped on the second one, 2019. And he was one of the biggest artists in the world, the biggest artist on the continent during the period. Because you don't need an album to sustain it. So if you don't want to make an album, don't make an album. Just keep putting out hit songs. But right now it's different because you don't collect money. You understand? You've collected money and you have to put out an album, and you don't have the time, you don't have the interest, you don't have the artistic intention to actually make good projects. Because you just believe that okay, I just want to score a hit song. So even though if I'm making an album, let me just maximize my chances of scoring a hit song. So I think artists need to like actually try to make good projects. Like listen to Nonso Amadi's project last year when it blooms. That is an album. That is a good project. Is that right? So if you are a mainstream, and this is mainstream conversation. This is not like for the Brimos of this world, or for the Wikasanis of this world. This is a mainstream conversation. Like so, this mainstream artists, you guys really need to find a way to make quality project. Go be grounded. Like take your time. Don't just regurgitate music for us. Do because you score one hit song. Now you now decide that, okay, this is the mast which I will name my flag. This is the hill I will die on. And you now keep repeating, like keep regurgitating, rewarming it. And you now like when you do it in singles, like as singles, every 6 months or every 3 months, you just touch it here, and you give us like people will just take it because it's just that single. But when you now put it together across 12 tracks, come on, man, this is torture. Right? So I think the art of making good albums is getting lost because we're also losing the art of actually being an artist. The art of being artistry. Now we just have people who want to make music to make money. And as long as they feel this thing will work, or as long as one will work, they will reward the rest. Right? So yeah, so I think we need to find a way to balance chasing hit tracks with chasing quality music. And there's a part where we understand that the artists they're adjusting to the market. They're adjusting to the market. This is what is obtainable after all. So let me just do what is obtainable. But we have to also understand that it is the market, it is the artist that shapes the market. Listeners will listen to what is popular. They will listen to what is popular. And what is popular is determined by what is aggressively marketed to you as popular. What is consistently put in your face as popular is what you listen to. And it's what will become popular. And that's what will shape the market. It's like, for example, when in the 2000s, when Nigerian radio stations, when Nigerian government see we need to play more of our own music on radio and on air. Prior to that, people consume significantly more foreign music. But when Nigerian music was prioritized over foreign music, Nigerian music became significantly popular than foreign music in Nigeria. Because that is what is in your face. That is what is aggressively marketed to you as popular. And you have to accept it as popular over time. It's conditioning. So this is the condition of the market to be like this. to be generic and everything, right? Because the people with the money support the people that they think is going to get the most attention. Right? So everything is gimmicky, everything is repetitive. Right now, you put out a song, you almost need to get a dance routine on TikTok if you want to promote that song. It's tiring. I mean, we'll have artists that will be like 37, 38 soon, and they are going to be there doing fucking TikTok challenges and dancing on TikTok because they want to promote a single. Because that is how the market has been engineered to be. So they need to understand that they engineered this market and they are the one with the power to change it. It is not necessarily going to have to be a shift in consumer behavior because consumers are going to, at the end of the day, consume what is popular. Charlie Pop is popular now because he is popular, because that is what is put in our face to be popular. It's catchy, there's that part, but being catchy enough is not enough to sustain attention. For you to sustain attention, you need momentum, you need money, you need to be in places, you need to be in people's faces. He's not the first person to make catchy music. The one corner guy in Ghana was catchy. I mean, it dissolved as fast as like the butter in the frying pan, and you didn't see him again. But this guy has stuck around because he kept putting out music. The music is popular, it's in the right places, the right people are talking about it. Next year, if 3 new artists comes up and starts singing like Charlie Poppy, can you blame them? Because that is what is popular, and they think this is what I'm going to use to score a hit song. Why do you think everybody is making Amapiano and try to sound like Ashake? Because the man came in 2022 and just swept everybody away. After him, we have Shiva. After Shiva, we have Odumodu. After Odumodu, we have after Shiva, we have Charlie Poppy. All of them using our piano underlined with different cultural elements. Right? So it's you guys condition the market. So it's not going to be a shift in consumer behavior. It's going to have to be a shift in what is popular, and it's a job for everyone to do. It's a job for the labels, the job for the artists, and even the job for the media. Because you get to support who is big and who is not big. And it's just cyclical. It's tiring. Because at the end of the day, the media will tell you that we need to give the audience what they want. I'm not going to play an unpopular music or an emerging artist when someone on radio station wants to listen to the biggest names. You understand? So we have to find a balance, strike a balance. So we would not lose quality at the end of the day. Because we, as losing quality, between 2010, sorry, I said 10, beg your pardon, 2020 to date, I can genuinely count the number of albums I think we can call resoundingly good quality albums right now. I can count them, and even some of them would still be debatable, and they will still want to no, we don't agree. That tells you a lot. From the new school artists, how many of them have given us resoundingly good projects? Maybe one each for those that are lucky, one each. So it's we're losing the art of making good albums, and because we are no longer particular about making good albums. And I wonder, how did we find ourselves here? So, in conclusion, I look at 2020, 2000 to 2010, and I can think of a number of albums that will soundtrack that era, that will remind me of that era. Yeah, you understand? Like, you look at 2010 to 2015, you still remember, okay, there's a number of albums that would soundtrack this era, quality albums that will stay, that have continued to stay fresh. 2015 to 2020, it started dropping, okay, but we still found 2020 brought us Made in Lagos, brought us Outside, Twice as Tall. You understand? Like, it brought us Omale's EP. Fantastic music. It brought us, I think Logi too was Lockdown. The Logi Love and Attention EP. It brought us Laughter, Tears and Goosebumps. Good music. We got the SARS EP, SARS and World EP. A lot of amazing music then. But then let's look at the last 4 years. What do we have? Yeah, we have a couple of fantastic. We have Timeless. We have Boy Alone. We have Mr. Money with the Vibes. Then a number of non-mainstream music. But what do we have in the mainstream? How many albums can we beat our chest in the mainstream and say these are good albums? Let's look at where we are coming from. Let's look at how many good albums were in the mainstream then. How many quality albums were in the mainstream then? Even people who were on their first try, how the quality of album they released. Even people who were on their third tries. I mean, P Square released 4 back-to-back stellar albums. So I did 4 too. Come on, man. Since I drop it, we're losing that ability to make good albums. And it's because we let streaming, we let saturation, and we let money get to us. And it's up to people that can fix it to fix it. And that's facts on it.